There we go. Now that we're recording. First order of business, we will move into doing the pledge. I'll start us off. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Next order of business is to accept the motion to approve the regular meeting minutes from December 12th, 2023.
I'll make a motion.
I'll make a motion.
Then you want
I'll
to second?
second it.
Thank you. All approved? Yeah.
Aye.
Any opposed? I think we need to have a couple abstentions. Eric wasn't here for that one. There's a couple. Maybe you don't want to. That's fine. Discovering it. All right, motion passes. Thank you. Up next is passing over to Mayor Pete.
All right, before we start tonight, I think we should go around the table and introduce ourselves. We have a lot of new people, and just tell us who we are. And I'll start off. I'm Pete Hess, entering my 10th season as finance board member. 9 surpluses, going for 10.
I'm Smitty Payne Jr. This is my
Second year.
second year on board.
Allison Bruce, controller. I'm heading in my 8th.
Teresa Silka. Oh, I'm sorry.
No, and we will have surpluses.
And this is my 3rd year.
I'm Elma Solomon. I came with Teresa, so she says 3, it's 3.
Wayne Malicki, and I'm on my 5th year.
Eric Reichert, this is my first day.
Daniel Renzoni, my first day here. I'm also a bailiff too.
Nicole Hiscock, I think 4.
Yeah.
Does that sound right? 4th year.
Diane Sento, I think
42.
14.
Wow.
What a me, I don't know.
Yeah, I did, it's longer than, it was before, it was before Mayor Bob. So it was,
So it's over 16.
yeah,
Wow.
my kids were in high
17.
school, yeah.
Tony Rakowski, it's day 1 for me. So nice to meet you.
Likewise. And I'm James Higgins. I'm the vice chairman. This will be, I think, my 5th year or 6th year going into this. And then I'm also chairman of our TIF district as well.
So what we should do is we're gonna start off with our new officers. And we're putting forward James as chairman and our longtime former vice chairman, Diane, coming back as vice chairman. So I guess we'll entertain a motion to nominate James Higgins as finance board chairman.
Make a motion.
I second.
All right, do we have any discussion? All those in favor?
All right.
Aye. Opposed? So ordered. Congratulations. And I will entertain a motion to nominate Diane Cinto as finance board vice chairman.
I'll make that motion also.
Second.
Okay.
Second? All right, any discussion? All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right, congratulations, Diane. Now, I'm gonna say a couple things in general and then tell you a little bit about what we have to do tonight at the finance board, and also the joint boards. And then we'll go through the agendas. Even after that, we can stay and talk a little. I encourage everyone, especially the new members, there's no such thing as a dumb question. You weren't appointed expecting that you know everything and you're gonna change the world in one night. So what we do at the finance board in general, once we start the budget season, is we do what every entity should do. We start from the bottom up, zero-based budgeting with every budget. We go through the entire town, and over the course of the budget season, we will go through each budget at least 3, probably 4 times. And as we go through it, there are things that are obvious that, we may cut right away or add. But for the most part, we sort of go through it and wait till we get further into the season to see how much money the state's gonna give us, what our revenue looks like, so we can make some informed decisions as we go along. We're in the 3rd year of a phase in, so there will be some new revenues, and we will decide as a group. The finance board makes the budget, so that's a lot different for most towns. In most towns, the mayor makes a budget and sends it out, and people bat it around. Here, the finance board makes the budget, then we present it to the joint boards, which is the 10 finance board members and the mayor and Burgesses, and then together as a group, we adopt a budget. So, I'm going to say certain people have different expertises, like Anthony's a police officer. So, feel free to, specialize, if you want to use that term, in the police budget, jump in there, get as involved as you want. No one is going to force anyone to, spend hours and hours scrutinizing things, but the more you want to get involved, the better. You may have some great ideas. Eric, I know you have a general business background, but feel free to get as involved as you want. So having said that, tonight is not about our next budget, which we'll start putting together in February. We're going to do a couple things tonight that relate to closing out last year's budget and some housekeeping details. So I'm going to skip first to the finance board budget, the joint board's budget, because working in reverse, I think, makes more sense. But
Before you jump into that, can I have a comment to your?
sure, yeah, absolutely.
So for the newer members, Mayor Pete did allude, like, if you have questions, please ask. Just to give you an example, like one of the line items, we're talking about like tipping fees. And I remember very closely working next to one of our former colleagues, and I'm like, why the heck are we tipping these people? And it had nothing to do with like tips like a restaurant. So please ask questions, because if you're not familiar, it's okay to not know. You don't know what you don't know yet, and kind of ask along as we go. Then I just want to make sure that we set the bar that it is a comfortable position. You can't ask questions. No one's gonna come gawking at you, barking down a tree or anything like that. Everyone's here with full respect. So just know that like tipping means trash in this case. And I'll embarrassingly admit that I had no idea what that was in my first round, and I really thought we were spending millions of dollars tipping our trash people. So that's what I thought it was. So just as a fun caveat to it, but I did want to share that piece, and especially for the newer members, ask and keep asking, because we also learn as we go. Some of us have been here many years now, and we don't know everything. So please ask. That's all. I just wanted to
Okay,
add that.
no, that's good. So when we get to the joint boards, we're going to look at something that we're going to do at the finance board level. But what we're going to do tonight is we're going to announce the surplus that we had for the 2023 fiscal year. We're gonna, there's a motion to transfer some of that money to our capital fund, and some of it will go to our fund balance. So I'll just think of it like this. The fund balance is our savings account as a town. So Allison will tell you the exact number, but it's in the range of 17 million. And we will be adding to that sum tonight. So what that means is about 11% of our town's budget is set aside in a savings account, earning interest. And we do everything in our power not to touch it. We haven't touched it in about 6 years, and we do not intend to touch it. So it's something we try and build up every year. And one of our objectives as a town is to get to 15%. And that is on the path to becoming a AAA credit rating. We're 2 notches off that now, so we want to just keep improving every year.
Joe Savarese has his hand up on line.
Okay, all right, I did. Joe Savarese.
Yeah, I'm just trying to confirm that I'm here. I've had some trouble getting logged in. You guys got me okay?
Got you.
Yeah, you're good.
Thank you for checking.
Okay, that's all I need to know. Thank you. Sorry to interrupt.
No worries.
Speaking of which, are we taking attendance, Allison?
I did.
Okay. Pretty good attendance. We're
Very-
missing Cyril
very
James, anyone else?
That's it.
I have Steve Snell on here. Is he no longer with us?
Still, oh, he's
Yeah,
with
thanks for
us.
this.
Then Steve and Sri.
Okay. So, also tonight, the 2 major exercises at the finance board and at the joint boards, when we get to that, is a reconciliation of our year-end expenses appropriations. So I'm gonna simplify it for you. I'll tell you how to decipher this form. So the one that you've been handed out, your handout for the finance board, if you turn to the last page and you look in the lower right-hand column, you're gonna see 539,529.59. So what that number is it shows us that we have spent 539,529 less than what we appropriated. So this doesn't have anything to do with the revenue side of the budget, but on the expense side, we've spent less than we appropriated. Now, every department is mentioned in here, and some departments had extra money, some were short, and the long and the short of this exercise is to balance every account so they're all equal, and what's left over is 539,000. So, let me just pick one here. If we go to,
Oh, so both of these the same. thing.
one,
No.
by the way, there's
So
like,
so
this is, one's for the finance board.
right,
The joint boards is slightly different, which we'll explain. But for the finance board, we're only looking at appropriation.
So if you look at the column that's headed budget,
yeah,
you're looking at the one that says intra within, that means you're transferring within the departments.
right.
That's for the finance board.
So let's look at the first one, let's look at tax collector on page 2 of 11. So the tax collector, the budget, we appropriated 268,767 in caps. We spent 260, well, we're balancing it to 268,767, so it will balance. So in that case, there was $841.72 left over. So that money in the course of everything else here will be transferred along with other money where there are surpluses in accounts, so that every account will balance to zero. And at the end, we have 539,000 left over. So, this takes every department and, balances it at zero, with a surplus in just appropriations of 539,000. Now, remember, we also have a revenue side to the equation, and I can tell you this, that we also have a surplus on the revenue side. So the total surplus for the town will be far in excess of 539,000. I don't want to make any predictions, but it'll be more like 1.5 million as a townwide surplus. But what we're doing tonight at the finance board level is just making everything balanced. So tonight, at the finance board, we're gonna vote on balancing everything at the finance board level. When we get to the joint board meeting, we will be announcing the surplus from the prior to 23 year fiscal year. We will be moving some of that money to capital and some to fund balance. And then we will be making the same transfers and some additional transfers, just like we're doing at the finance board, to balance everything out in all of our accounts. We're also going to discuss salary increases for non-union employees, where we're just basically taking the budgeted amount and awarding it. And that's about it. So when we get to the joint board meeting, we'll slow down and go through it again. That's just the preview. So right now, James, I'm going to turn it back to you. And I guess you can take questions on item number 6 on the finance board budget.
Hey, James, for clarification, Mayor,
Yeah.
especially for the newer people, because we haven't had something like this in a while. If a department needs more money, they have to come to us. They can't just transfer money from another department. They have to come to us to seek that transfer either from contingency or from another department. They can't just say, oh, I overspent my budget $100,000, so give me 100,000. They have to come before us to get that transfer in, which the mayor's never touched contingency, but,
I just want to say, here's another thing. We do have a contingency fund in the borough.
right,
In 10 years, I've never spent 5 cents from contingency.
right, but that's,
And I never will unless we really have to.
right, but what I'm saying is it's not, so what you're seeing here is interdepartmental transfers.
Correct.
And that's what I was gonna bring up, Diane.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yes.
So the first one is finance board, which is the finance board. They have the authority to transfer within a department transfers. If there's money needed outside of a department to balance a department, then the joint board has to have that authority. That's the combination of the Burgess and the finance board. So you have to be in both meetings as finance board members. But first we do the finance transfers where we balance every line item we can within each department. And then if they need money outside of the department, then the joint board has to approve that.
Yeah. See, we're on the same.
I know, I felt it flowing, right? Yeah.
Eric, my question.
I have a rookie question. So, so the appropriated budget, revised budget, and then it zeroes out. There's the 3 columns to the right at the final budget, final estimated final actual, and then the budget balance. What do those 3 represent? Because like I'm noticing, like, not all of them, but like some of them, the original appropriated budget and then it zeros, but then the number to the right of those is higher.
That's because the 2 transfers make up the final budget and they're in 2 different documents.
Okay,
And basically I hid the columns so you could look at,
okay, so that's money coming from somewhere.
yes, you already picked up on that, cause when he had to pick the one that had that in it, and I'm like, he picked the one that's gonna not look like it's adding up, but it does.
Right. Okay.
Yes, good, but if you take the final budget minus the final actual, that's what's left over after all the transfers are approved,
Okay.
okay?
Yep.
Already catchy things.
That was a test, too fast. Welcome aboard. All right, so with that being said, I will entertain a motion to approve the request from Controller Allison Bruce, to approve the departmental transfers in total of the $539,529.59. No,
It's zeros,
it's zeros,
It's a net.
sorry.
it's a net,
It's a net zero, sorry.
from one department to the next, it's a net transfer. And I just wanna point out too, the 539 exists before the transfers, it exists after the transfers. It is a number that you're not changing at all with the transfers, you're just balancing out the budget at the end of the year within lines. The surplus is the same and it'll stay the same, we have that surplus no matter what.
So I revise that statement. I make a motion to approve the request from Allison Bruce to approve the departmental transfers as presented with a $0 difference.
Thank you, sir.
Someone needs to motion and second it, please.
I'll make the motion.
Thank
All
you,
right,
Diane.
thanks, Diane.
I'll second.
All in favor, aye?
Aye.
Any opposed? All right, so voted. Next is adjournment at 7:07 PM.
I'll make a motion.
Thank you. Thank you for the second. And then, now we'll go to the next meeting. Oh, all in favor?
Aye.
Are we doing the same recording for the second meeting?
Can we start over?